I'm breathing it in. I do that with colors also. So one example is, this is many months ago, I was having a bad head, walking past a planter full of beautiful, bright magenta petunias. And I felt like, almost like I wanted to eat that color, like it was something that I needed inside of me for healing. So I focused my third eye on the color of those flowers and I inhaled. And I drew that color up into me. Just changing my core. Oh my goodness, batteries are dying. Everything's happening. Okay, it's better. I inhaled and drew that color into me and I breathed it in to the area of my brain that was hurting. And you can do this. You can literally inhale colors. You can inhale a sunset. If you have ever seen a particularly brilliant, sherbet colored sunset, you can inhale it going from left to right across the horizon. And I tell you about this because I've said it before, your third eye attenuates. It reaches out towards objects and ideas. And whatever it reaches out towards, it touches and ingests a little bit of that, just like your nose. When you smell something, good or bad, you're technically ingesting molecules of that substance directly into your olfactory bulb of your brain. That's all I can think of when I walk past a smelly toilet. I'm like, oh, I do not want someone else's, fecal particles going directly up my nose into my brain. Like, it's disgusting. This is the same thing when you use your third eye to touch on anything. You are using it to touch on, the actions of evil people. You're ingesting fecal particles. So as we begin to control our mind and control the apparatus of our third eye, we begin to choose whether we touch on things that are quote unquote disgusting, or whether we want to ingest and look at things that are a bit more uplifting. So this also has to do with energetic hygiene, because whatever comes into you, you're going to have to process it and deal with it. I am so choosy about what I ingest on the level of my energy level. Like, I don't watch TV. I don't like to ingest that level of nonsense. I'm very choosy about the foods that I eat. I won't ingest some, corn syrup and genetically modified ingredients, because I really understand that it's not just like, oh, drink a soda. That when you drink that soda, it has an impact that stays in your intestines for a long time and then takes a long time for your body to achieve balance again. So this is the way I feel about certain concepts, ideas, even people. There are some, people, when I see them speaking on TV, where I'm just like, I don't want to ingest anything about that person. I'm sure you can imagine who I'm talking about, but there are some political leaders that I'm just like, I don't want to have you inside of me on any level, and I don't want to have to process all of that. So I'm choosy about what I put into me so that I don't have to process a lot of things so that I don't have to process a lot of things. Hold on a minute. I'm just going back to my notes. Okay. When you cultivate your energy field like this, it actually helps to protect you from the electromagnetic fields, from things like cell phones and everything else that is at large. So the radiation off of cell phones and cell phone towers and unshielded electric wiring and pretty much living in the modern industrialized world, those fields can absolutely have a negative impact on your own field. You have a magnetic field around you, and this has a magnetic field around it. And this magnetic field can have a conflict with your own magnetic field, all right? It's very important to, like, if you're gonna have a 2-hour-long phone conversation on your phone, use your headphones, because it's really good not to have it directly next to your head. Better to have it a foot or two away from you and have a cord connected to your ear. Don't sleep with your phone next to your bed, even if you need an alarm clock. these electromagnetic waves will distort and diminish your own waves of consciousness and make it harder for you to sleep. In fact, if you can, so in my bedroom, we have the router for the computer and it has to be located there. That's okay. If you have items like that, you can do things to shield yourself from it. So you can put salt near or on a router. You can use crystals and other aspects of mirrors to create an energy field. Like the routers in the closet, we have put crystals in front of the closet door. So we are keeping the energy in the closet so that it's not constantly impacting on you. My energy field is rather strong. So I have like a good amount of momentum in my energy field. So I feel like I can be exposed to some amount of, electromagnetism and negativity or other things that would be disruptive or chaotic without having it totally diminish my own coherence. This is what this is all about. Each one of us creating a coherent light body. So you could even look at the challenges that we are facing in creating a coherent bubble of light here in this world, because we're currently having, this is coming in this way, this is coming in this way. It's like, all I'm trying to do is cultivate my bubble, and there's all of these other forces that are trying to have an impact on it. This is preparation for the soul's migration, because at a certain point on our journey of consciousness, we will be traveling and we will be subjected to very powerful forces like currents of energy, like the tides of the ocean, huge ocean currents that would sweep you away, that would collapse your bubble if you don't cultivate your non-physical energy presence. So we're here in this protected realm, learning how to cultivate our coherent energy body so that eventually we will be strong enough in order to be able to be exposed to the jet stream or be exposed to some incredibly powerful current of consciousness and not have it just completely unmake us. So your bedroom at night, if you can, keep your cell phone out of it, keep electromagnetic fields out of it. If you can, sage your bedroom. Sage, the plant, is very important for maintaining your energetic hygiene. So in your bubble of energy, like how do you clean your house? You clean your house with, like Windex or some kind of spray cleaner. Like if there's something dirty, you spray it, you wipe it away with a towel or something like that. So let's say in your aura, your energy field, let's say there's something in there that shouldn't be in there. What do you do? What are your tools? What are your cleaning tools? So sage is one incredibly effective cleaning tool. It, when you burn it, helps to remove the negativity that it literally bonds to the smoke that is in the sage and then comes out of the air. Like that's more of a particulate and science-based explanation of it. But sage has a vibration, and when you use that vibration and connect it to your intent to clear. So like salt is just salt, but when you connect it to your intent to clear, then it becomes this tool for cleansing. So sage and salt, these are two things that you can use. You don't actually have to burn sage. You can simply wave it with intent, and that helps to clean things. You can clear something with a feather. This is a feather that a student gave to me, and I can use this to clear. It's not that the feather is magical or that the feather is burning. It is that I am using this as a symbol and as a tool for focusing what is really coming out of my third eye, the intent of my attenuation of my consciousness to clear the room. This is very much like I told you, when you attenuate, whatever you are touching with your mind, you're ingesting a little bit of it. This is the same thing. Like when you're cleaning, I wear gloves when I clean because I don't want to touch dirty stuff. When you're cleaning, you might have to touch on things that are a little bit dirty. So if you're like, oh my goodness, if I'm feeling like really angry or agitated, like I get sage, and either I burn some and I wave it around my energy field, or even smell it and wave it around my energy field. And that is one effective way of clearing out something that's dirty and that doesn't belong there. So salt is another effective way of clearing something that doesn't belong in your energy field. So all of this has to do with being able to perceive things that most people don't perceive. For many people, they do not, most people in this time and place are insensate. They are either unable to perceive or they are anesthetized. So they don't perceive their energy body. And so they don't perceive the necessity for, energetic hygiene. That doesn't mean you don't need hygiene. It just means that most people are living in really unhygienic conditions. Like people used to not brush their teeth. They didn't know it was necessary. They didn't know it could help. People in this time and place don't necessarily understand that saging your bedroom is like brushing your teeth. It's something you should do, more than once a century. It's a good idea to do that. So let me just think about a couple of other things on terms of brushing your teeth. When I brush my teeth and when I swish, the water around in my mouth, I envision that I'm creating little tiny vortexes, just like, these shapes in between my teeth. I am envisioning these little, spiral shaped vortexes. All of this has to do with really embodying what people would call sacred geometry, or being the embodiment or representation of these divine forms, that the more closely you conform to the shape and harmonic nature of the waveforms of the universe, that the more that you will achieve a state of total health and vitality. This is everything to do with the level 1 teaching, which is basically that your chakras are alive. They are the other half of yourself that you've been artificially separated from. And doing these things that I've just been telling you about in terms of energetic hygiene are essential for keeping your chakras healthy. That when you clear your room with sage, you are actually helping your chakras to be able to spin with less friction. You're helping your chakras to be able to function. Just like, if you don't drink alcohol and drink plenty of water, you're helping your liver to be able to cleanse your body. And many people even think about their body in terms of disassociation. Like there's me and then there's my liver, or, there's me and then there's my stomach or my bowels. You need to take full ownership of the physical form and full ownership of the non-physical form. And this means expanding your identity, expanding your definition of who you are and what is you to encompass your non-physical energy centers. I'll tell you this about your chakras. They are conscious entities. They are loving entities. They want to connect with you directly. They want to talk to you directly, and they want to have a good relationship of equality where no one is being the bully. This is like marriage. We're talking about establishing a marriage with your non-physical, higher dimensional energy partners. And I'll share just a little bit of this back and forth. With me and my chakras, there have been times in my life when I've been like, don't you tell me what to do, And that's appropriate, because when you're a little kid, when you're 2 years old and your mommy or daddy says, want me to help you tie your shoes? You say, no, I do it myself. And that's appropriate for a 2-year-old, We are going through these cosmic levels of development. And when you're going through the beginning levels, it's really great to assert your independence and say, I'm this and I do it myself. And that is right and appropriate. But also, you don't want to just constantly be at odds with your chakras. If they are telling you to do something unnecessarily or arbitrarily or at their convenience and your inconvenience, like here's one example, okay? let's say I need to go to the grocery store because I am the macro persona and I'm the one with the actual, money and car. And I go to, I need to go and get resources, but the resources are resources that also benefit my chakras, because my chakras require nourishment because they eat what the experience of me eating food. Okay. So I need food for my physical body. My chakras need the experience of me eating food. They need that too. The conflict happens when my chakras say, time to sit down and meditate. And I say, oops, it's time for me to go to the grocery store, or time for me to do the dishes, or time for me to take out the trash, because your chakras are not involved with the physical realm. They are not here, but they are a part of your life and your life events. So your chakras might say, oh, no, it's absolutely essential for you to sit down and meditate right now, without recognizing the necessity of having toilet paper so that you can handle what needs to be done in the bathroom when you get up from meditation. This is the challenge of working overtly with your chakras. So for example, your root chakra, it will tell you when it's time to, expel solid waste, but it's not going to tell you, hey, you also need to get to the grocery store and buy some toilet paper so you can wipe afterwards too. They don't operate on that level. So it's essential for you as the driver in the driver's seat of this human experience to have a good balance, because chakras are spirit people. They're not corporeal. Their priorities are the priorities of the non-corporeal. And toilet paper is not a priority for the non-corporeal set. I have had this, I'm sharing it in a rather comical way, but I've had this conversation with my chakras, who are, my spirit guides. I've said to them, hey, I need to go out to the grocery store. I'll sit down and meditate with you later because I need toilet paper. And this is essential, because that's why do non-corporeal beings interact with corporeal beings? To learn. The answer is, all of this is a co-creative partnership. All of this is done so that we can learn from one another. And it is all meant to be on the level of equality. So I'm going to stop talking now and open the floor to anyone else who would like to say something. And everyone is free to unmute themselves, because my computer is frozen and I don't think that I can I don't think I can make the thing work in order to unmute anyone. I will try though. Oh, good. It looks like people got unmuted. Any questions or comments? So sorry about the technological difficulties today.
What crystals are good? I am so surrounded by technology. I bought the special plugs to filter my electric.
Right.
And I've moved as many things away from me, but my friend came and did a test and it was off the charts. Just saging, it's funny because I keep sage right near my desk.
Yeah.
Unknowingly.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, because you're in, Lucy's in the publishing industry, for anyone who's tuned in but who doesn't know who Lucy is, and publishes my DVDs. And so she has an office that is filled with so many different desktops and CPUs and machines running and, like copying CDs all the time. That's a very difficult environment for you to have to marinate in. So I have a couple of suggestions. I don't have them, but I know that they are made. They're like either pads that you can put in your shoes or underneath your chair that you can.
Yes, I've heard about that material to ground.
Exactly. Because essentially you in your office, you are marinating in this wildly charged atmosphere of all of these chaotic waveforms, and they come into your chakra system. And then it's like, where does that energy have a place to go? And, you're in the winter time right now. It's not that easy for you to wear sandals and go outside and walk on the ground during your lunch break. So I would definitely say, if you can get one of these pads that you sit on, I think that it has an actual plug that goes into the wall and goes into the ground outlet in your wall, so that you're like sitting on it, or that it's underneath your chair. Like there's a product that I think will really benefit you. Because you asked about crystals, and the short answer is what crystals are good for, it really depends on what you need. So for example, Herkimer, this is my Herkimer diamond, and I love this, and it really works well for a lot of the things that I do, but I don't keep it next to my bed because I found out that Herkimer diamonds next to your bed, they can give you lucid dreams, or they can give you insomnia because it's too much. It's too much. And so I keep them out here in my studio, not next to my bed. So there are some stones like tourmaline, like black tourmaline, and also there's another one, hematite, that are for grounding and protection. And hematite itself is a magnetic crystal. I would say it would really take an expert like to know where to place it in your energy field for it to be effective. Like if something needs to be rerouted, or if something needs to be blocked or reflected, it's a challenge to be able to, it's like trying to taste your recipe from far away and tell if it needs salt or if it needs sugar. Like, hard to tell. It's good that you have someone working with you. You said that you have an energetic, sensitive person who is able to.
She can hardly come in this room.
Got it. Okay. So then she would be able to tell you, maybe where the major blockages are. I mean, there's so many other things too. There are literal shields you can make out of like thin mylar. I don't know how that would work in your work setup though. Like, I'm thinking of this, the smart meters. People are having trouble with these new electric smart meters, which are often mounted on the outside wall of a building. So what people are doing to protect themselves is putting these sheets of mylar on the inside wall of the, where the outside thing is mounted. But I wonder if it would be possible to cover some of the computers, the CPUs with mylar so that they're not radiating so much, or to be able to shield like some of the cords, like if you have a lot of, cords running all through your place, if it might be possible to shield that in some way. Mike, do you have any, Mike is an electrical engineer and has a lot of ideas about electricity and knowledge about that. Have anything to add on shielding and grounding a lot of CPUs?
Not really. I mean, the only thing I ever heard before was putting something that was like a fiberglass disc or something where the power lines come in your house, but I don't know that really connects with what you're talking about.
What's the purpose of the fiberglass disc?
It was supposed to stop some kind of etheric energy or something, because it doesn't have anything to do with the electrical.
Okay, and is it something that was placed around the wires?
Yeah, like a disc, and the wire would go through the middle of it. And that's all I remember. I don't know if it has any connection here.
Interesting, okay.
I'm going to keep doing research, and I will share with everybody what I know.
Sounds really good. And one person in Woodstock that you can connect with, Joan Apter, has been very active against the smart meters.
Yes.
She's done a lot of research about the connection to cancers and to her own health problems. And she has probably a good information about shielding and blocking, because I know she did a lot of that in her own house.
I will call her.
Good. And tell her I say hi. She's a lovely person.
I will. We just took baths in Saratoga recently, mineral baths.
Oh, nice. Nice. Oh, was it like hot springs?
Yes. It's
hot springs. That is an excellent way. I should have written that down on that lesson. It's too bad I already recorded it, but that is an excellent way to cleanse and vivify, like fill up your aura with great energy. There's a hot springs that's about 2.5 hours south of where I am, called ORR, like ORR. And when I went there, I had such a powerful experience, first of my own like detoxification and negative emotional purging. And then such a powerful connection while I was sitting in one of these pools and really being cleansed, like a divine connection where I made a bridge that any of these demonic beings that want to return to source could return to source effectively, in that moment. Like, I'm just saying, like, when I got into the water and, was there for a couple of hours, I felt such an immense shift in my energy pattern. And that lasted for weeks afterwards. In fact, like I've been craving and feeling like I want to go back there recently because it's winter time. Out here, it's not as bad, but it's still, you know, you have a little bit of an issues. In wintertime, we tend to be less active. And when you move around, that's when your lymph circulates and when you know, like purge and get rid of stuff. And also we tend to sweat less and you hold in more of the toxins in your skin that ordinarily would come out and be free. So being able to get into a hot, you know, mineral bath and the hot springs, they contain minerals. Just like, remember I was saying, salt is a very effective way of cleansing.
Yes.
So the, you know, hot springs are really great. So Lucy, for you at the end of your day, it is so important. I don't know if you walk back to your house or whatever, but touch a tree in order to discharge all of the extra energy that you have been subjected to during the day. That's like the first thing you should do when you get out of the office, touch a tree.
I'm going to do that as soon as we're done.
Very
Absolutely.
good.
Thank you.
Yes, totally. And this is also like uncharted territory. And we as conscious beings are trying to model a good way to, like, we're professionals. We, like, I'm here in front of a computer and surrounded by electromagnetic fields. Like, we need to treat ourselves kindly and be spiritual people and also be in the mundane world and work with all this technology. So we need to be model to other people an effective way to do this, you know, without hurting ourselves. I saw that there was a chat that just came up. I'm trying to find that chat. Here we go. I don't know how to look at this thing. What did this just say? I'll get it. Hold on a minute. Okay, so Ed says, I would think there would be a way to protect against all manner of electromagnetic field stuff by addressing it on higher than physical plane. Say by having feelings and beliefs that your chakras and aura are immune to effect from EM. I would agree. That's like saying if you are really tuned in, then you can eat whatever you want, and the power of your belief baptizes all of your food. So you could eat genetically modified corn chips and they would be fine because they passed your lips and, you know, they would not negatively impact you. And that's like high level stuff to be able to do that, you know, but yes, theoretically, when we achieve the highest level of self-cultivation, we will be able to do that. It won't be like, oh no, my electromagnetic field was just harmed. Like you'll be like a marathon athlete, like nothing will stop you. You just keep going and going and going. So, but when you are just beginning to accrete your light body, I mean, whatever, it's so much better not to have to push a boulder uphill and to work with your body and not have to work against natural, let's say, predilections, not have to work against, you know, like you can do anything starving. You could run 26 miles with no food. It's easier with food. So I think that in some ways, like it's the pinnacle of achievement to just say, let's just take care of it at the highest energetic level, but also that requires the most expertise. So might not be possible for everyone. Okay. So let me just apologize for the challenges with technology today, and sorry that I didn't get to properly record or really transmit the information that I wanted to in level 2, but you know that I will get around to it, and we'll have a really excellent class next week in order to make up for the Mercury retrograde problems of this week. If there are any more questions or comments, otherwise I'm going to wrap it up and see if I can resurrect my computer. I don't even know what's going on with it. Okay.
See everybody next week.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and I will tune in with everyone next week. I'm going to sign off for right now.
All right. See you later.
Okay, good night,
Have a good night, everyone.
Okay, bye.